Here's what actually helped my anxiety finally heal after years and years of therapy. This is a bit more of a casual video I'm doing in the car. I'll see how long I last for. It is so hot. I don't know how other influencers do car videos, but I can see why they like it because I feel like I can really be like my free, true self in this video. All right, let's get back into the content. So how to actually heal from anxiety and how I actually heal from anxiety, because we have this big misconception right now in our society that if you are struggling with a mental health disorder, what you need to do is you need to go into therapy. And therapy is great. Don't get me wrong. I have done therapy for years. I still see my therapist whenever I need help and support. I currently have a session with her next week or 2 weeks from now, I think. So I'm a huge fan and proponent of therapy. But I do think now, especially after going through my journey of anxiety, of depression, of a dysregulated nervous system, there is more to great mental health and well-being than just going to therapy. There is so much more than that. And if you don't know my story and journey, I talk about it in some of the previous videos, but I struggled with anxiety and depression for about 5 years of my life. And at one point, things got so bad that I actually ended up in the hospital as a result of my depression. And that was a really, really, really dark night. And that's when I really had my wake-up call of just being like, if I don't go out and do something different, if I don't really take care of myself and support myself, I'm going to end up right back here again, and I might not leave after that. And that's when my journey to really support myself began. And I started going to therapy. I started talking to different psychiatrists. I even went on antidepressant medication for a few months. I was doing so many different things. I was trying different diets. I was optimizing my sleep. I was going to the gym every single day. I was just doing so much, like literally everything I could get my hands on to support myself, to improve myself. And as I was kind of going down this journey, right, I started to see a couple things. One, I started to see just how many people around me were really struggling. And two, I really started to notice how there was just such a lack of information in the mental health world as to what is really going to help and support you. And I find that we usually only have two options, right? We have the option of going on medication, seeing a psychiatrist, or we have the option of going to therapy. And there's so many different therapies available, and both options can work. They can be good depending on what it is that you're looking for support with. But there's a third option that we've forgotten about. There's a third option that we don't realize actually exists. And that third option is taking care of your body and, most importantly, your nervous system. And it wasn't until I truly understood my body, my nervous system, that all the stuff I was doing actually started to work well. And, because I was doing the therapy, I was even taking the medication, I was seeing my psychiatrist, I was doing group therapy, I was doing so much. And it wasn't until I started to take care of my specific body in the specific way that it needed support, specifically supporting my nervous system, specific, that I actually started to heal and get better and improve. So here's what actually helped me, and here's what you can take away and start to apply essentially in your own life. Number one, huge big thing is diet. Looking at your diet and how you're supporting yourself. So when it comes to your nervous system specifically, number one, what is your nervous system? You have your brain up here, and then you have your spinal cord that's here. And out of your spinal cord are essentially all of these little wires that are coming out, and they're going to all different areas of your body. They're going to your organs, your muscles, like literally all different areas. And those nerves, which is essentially your nervous system, detect any sort of little change that happens in your body, and any sort of change that happens, right away, they communicate it directly to your brain. And that's how your brain also communicates essentially with the rest of your body. So your nervous system is the command center of your body. It's literally located everywhere in your body. And that's why I got distracted. Someone's walking by. And that's why they say it's a command center of the body, because it's connected to literally every single thing in the body. And so what becomes very important is when we look at supporting our nervous system state, you have to support your body, right? The better supported your body is, because your nervous system is in your body, the better that you are essentially going to feel. And as a result of that, the better control that you are then going to have over your anxiety. So the number one place that I really started with, that I want you to start with, is start with your diet. Look at the foods that you're feeding yourself. So many of us don't realize this, but the food that you eat has a direct impact on your nervous system, and that's going to have a direct impact on your mood, on your brain health, on your anxiety. And so if you want to have a better control over your anxiety and emotions, you need to start with the foods that you are eating. Because depending on if you eat a croissant or if you choose to eat a high protein smoothie, that is going to have a direct impact on how your nervous system feels. Because one is all carbs, all sugar. You're going to get a big blood sugar spike and crash. And the other has protein in it. It has nutrients in it. It's going to be much more balanced for you. And it wasn't until I started to take my nutrition seriously and more specifically start to eat to support my blood sugar levels that things completely started to change for me. So what does a day of eating really look like for me now? I really try to make sure that I always eat within a portion size. I used to overeat so much and so often. Even overeating will spike your blood sugar levels a lot because more food equals more sugars that you're breaking down essentially. So I've really cut down on that and make sure that when I eat, like my stomach still feels a little bit empty. Like I don't eat past extreme fullness. It's something I really had to train myself to do. Secondly, when I do eat meals, I make sure my meals are protein heavy, not carb heavy. I'm South Asian, so in my culture, meals are extremely carb heavy. So the big difference that I've really done in my life now is to make sure that my meals are all based around protein and veggies and healthy fats, and then I'll have a little bit of carbs on the side if I need to. My goodness, it is so hot right now. I have to like open the door for a second and breathe. Someone needs to tell me, how are people recording all these long videos in their car? Like, I think I need to keep a fan or something in here. If you have suggestions, comment below, let me know, okay? Okay, getting back into it. Now, with the diet piece of things, the other thing that I also really wanted to emphasize here was that I'm no longer snacking throughout the day. I used to snack and graze all throughout the day. And what ends up happening is that every time you snack, blood sugar spike and crash, blood sugar spike and crash. And so now what I do, I just focus on eating 3 meals a day and that's it. That's all I worry and stress about. Sometimes if I'm not that hungry, I'll like, skip dinner if I want to, depending on where I am in my menstrual cycle. But other than that, stick to eating 3 meals a day. So diet, you gotta hone down on your diet. You gotta support your diet because every single piece of food you put in your mouth is either making your anxiety worse or it's making your anxiety better, right? This is all about giving your brain and body the capacity to be able to handle stressors. When we're a very anxious person, we can't handle a lot of stressors. It's like every little thing is triggering us. Every little thing impacts us. And so if we want to increase your body's capacity to be able to handle stressors, you have to make sure you're taking care of your body right. Second thing is movement. I became super consistent with my movement and not just getting my exercise first thing in the morning, but also moving my body the rest of the day. Because what would happen before is, I'd wake up at 5, 6 a.m. I would go to the gym, but then I'd just sit in my booty all day long. And the new research is coming out to show that it's not enough to just go to the gym for a 60-minute workout in the morning. You actually need to be sure you're moving throughout the day because sitting is like the new smoking. And to be honest with you, my body got way more fitter and just healthier, just a little side note, when I started to move throughout the day as well. So yes, I will do my like 60-minute workout in the morning, whether it's a run, whether I'm going to the gym. And then what I'll do is I'll get like 1 to 2 more walks during the day as well that are 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes 60 minutes during the day to support my health. And so that's become a really important way for me to regulate myself. Anytime that I feel stressed out or anxious, I get up and I go for a walk. It has been the best way for me to shift that emotional state because sometimes when you're really anxious and stressed out, you'll practice a deep breathing. And I'll have so many patients tell me this too, is that when they practice a deep breathing, it makes them feel so stressed out. And it just makes the anxiety worse sometimes. And sometimes what we need to do instead of, trying to deep breathe, sometimes we need to just give that anxiety a place to go. Anxiety is just this really high intensity emotion. And so if we can give this anxiety like a place to go, you feel so much more better afterwards. Like every time I felt anxious and just gone on a walk afterwards, I have felt like 100 million times better. So using movement as medicine, making sure you're moving multiple times throughout the day becomes really important. And then the last piece of things is like sleep, making sure that you are sleeping well and having a high quality sleep. And what I really want you to understand about sleep is that you need to build the right conditions in order for your body to actually sleep in. A lot of us think that if we go from TV and phone to our bed, our brain should be able to just knock out just like this. But it's like, how can your body do that? You were just doing something that was so extremely overstimulating. Your brain just can't go from stimulation to calm at the snap of your fingers. You need to be doing some sort of activity that's going to turn the calm response on. So for me, that looks like I have a routine that I've developed in the evening. So for me, that looks like I take a hot bath. I will journal. I will meditate. I'll read a book. And that is what helps my body unwind and help me sleep. And what's really amazing about this is that your brain and body are just so smart. And when you do something enough times, your brain's just like, okay, Basiline's turned on her bathtub. We're going to go to sleep. Like I'll literally turn on the bathtub and I'll just start feeling sleepy because my brain is just trained so well to know that as soon as we're taking the bath, it's time for us to start going to bed. And that's the power of repetition and consistency. And so this trifecta of the diet, the movement, the sleep, is what helps support your body. And then in the middle, I'll put supplements in there. Very important you do blood work and get supplements according to that. Don't just take 10 different supplements at once. The amount of times I'll have patients coming in and they'll be like, I'm taking 10 of these. And I'm like, why? And they're like, I have no idea. And I'm like, amazing. You don't need to take any of these. And I will simplify their supplement protocols so much because you don't need to be taking 100 different things. Even me, if I take any sort of supplements, I'm always doing my blood work and I'm taking supplements based on my blood work and what's come out. For me right now, I'm supporting my cortisol levels and making sure my nutrients are on set. So I'm supplementing based on that. So don't randomly supplement. You're wasting so much money by buying all these random supplements, and you need to stop doing that. So that's essentially this like trifecta, fourfecta, I don't know, a fourfecta. If you know what it's called instead, let me know. But that's essentially what this looks like. And this is what actually helped me heal my anxiety. It was me supporting my body. It was me supporting my nervous system, using movement, using sleep, using diet, using supplements. And when I started to implement these things, the therapy started to work so much better. And I just started to feel so good, so much better. And I just want you to feel how good your life feels when you feel good in your body, because truly that has a ripple effect on everything else in your life. When you feel good in your body and who you are, when your nervous system is in that calm state, you show up with so much more confidence in your life. You're able to just be an incredible version of yourself. You don't have fear anymore because you just feel so good in yourself and who you are. And you can get there. You can get there. You just need to slowly start showing up for yourself in any little way that you can. Slowly start to show up for your body. Take care of your body like you are someone who matters. Like you're important, because you are. You are. You know, you do so much for so many other people around you, but no one's going to come and force feed vegetables for you. No one's going to come and tell you to stop watching Netflix so late so you can get a good night's sleep. These are things that you have to do for yourself to show up for yourself, because you deserve it. You deserve to wake up and feel good about yourself in your life. And that starts with how you take care of yourself. It starts with how you show up for yourself. And I want you to show up for yourself so that you can see how beautiful life starts to feel. Because when you start to show up for yourself, people are going to start showing up for you. When you start taking care of yourself, everything outside of you is going to reflect that. You're going to attract better partners, better friendships, better relationships, better career opportunities. You're going to take more bold action in your life. And that's just going to make everything be so much better. If you want to dive deeper into this, I'm hosting a free masterclass where I'm going to walk you through my 6-step method and framework that I've taken thousands of patients through to help them rewire and regulate their nervous system. You can sign up below. And most importantly, I hope that this was really helpful and that it's really shown you the importance of taking care of your body and how to really start. Because when I started to implement these things in my life, and they're such simple things, you guys, like such simple things. And that's what I emphasize in my practice with my patients, that great health is so simple. It's so easy. And that's what I want it to feel like for you. You just got to do these simple, easy things over and over and over again, because that is when you really see the difference in your life.